We're Paper Jackets, and we're hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
I have been listening to the EP for some time already. Take me into the studio, the creative process behind Don't Lose Your Head.
Yeah, so we had a lot of time as a band, the last couple of years to go over many different ideas. We went in the studio in the beginning of last year, kind of ended recording right around this time last year, and have just been, as far as the creative process, we're all very creative, a lot of creative forces here in this band. Forces to be reckoned with. We try to keep it tight, play nice, but sometimes not everybody gets along and agrees. But we certainly had our ups and downs, and I'd say this is not like any. I guess it's just like any other band. We have our ups and downs, but ultimately, we work together and create together.
Right.
Yeah.
And as you guys kind of teamed up with Ethan Kaufman for this record, like, what was his vibe like in the studio?
Well, Ethan, I know personally when I go in, I can't exactly describe the sound that I'm hearing, and it'll come out weird like a Grinch going down the stairs, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about. He has that sound, and he definitely gets me. And I think in any other studio, if I said that, they'd be like, what are you talking about?
Right.
But Ethan definitely gets me.
Right.
So that's cool.
As you guys were all in the studio with him, like, did he kind of challenge you guys in a different way as you guys played your instruments?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, because our music is very like electronic-based, electronic-centric music, and sometimes you're like, okay, how are we gonna like put other live instruments into this track where we have like a really low synth carrying like the low note of the song? So we're gonna put bass, and it's like, okay, well, what if the bass guitar played something different that was like, since this is carrying the low end, the bass can play like a melodic thing, and we'll come up with something that's just like really interesting, and we'll find a sound, and it just like it goes, and you're like, oh, that was different. That's cool. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun working with him. He just kind of like has an open mind about like what can be done, so. It's nice. Now
tonight is the first time that I get to see you guys live. So, how different or how similar is the EP, listening to the EP as opposed to watching you guys like on the live show?
Well, I think the live show is very different from what you hear on the record. It's just like a lot more, I don't know, what would you say, more energy?
A lot more live energy.
Yeah.
We kind of bring the live product to the record has its own kind of electronic feel, and we're still bringing that electronic feel, but we're putting more live effort into that, more energy and more sound through. We're like a wall of sound right now, so it's pretty awesome. You gotta go check out a show.
I'd say the recording is quite tame compared to what it's funny, like all these, one of the last events we played, there were like all these active rock stations there who wanted to play our stuff like after hearing us live because they thought we were like active rock material, which I thought was kind of like questionable. But no, we definitely bring a lot of energy.
Yeah. So how are you guys gonna? The Mint is the stage for the Mint is not that big of a stage, so there's a lot of you on stage. So what can I expect for this stage?
What can you expect from the stage?
From this stage, yeah.
From this stage, lots of energy because it's small. Hopefully the place is packed. I feel like it's gonna be a great show.
Right.
Yeah. It's a
I feel like
free show.
we thrive in some smaller venues sometimes.
Yeah, it's something that we haven't been faced with before. We've done this before. We're like, we got to spread out somehow. And I think this is probably like the third or fourth time I played this venue. I expect to hit my head on the speaker at least once. At least once you'll see me hit my head on a speaker or my bass on something. It'll happen. But it'll be fun though.
Right.
I'm expecting a good time.
Now, James, take me more into like the writing process of this album. What kind of inspired this record? Why did you write the songs that you did?
It's been just kind of like a free-for-all in terms of going into the studio with new ideas, and I've really treated it as such, and I think we've all treated it as such. Yeah. We've been limited over the years of what we could do creatively, in the studio with, there's all kinds of limits in this world in terms of like recording and costs and this and that. Right. So it was kind of a free-for-all, and I think in the joy of it being so free, we just kind of went for it and was like, let's just get some songs, and like really go for it. So like the inspiration has really just been like the backing, and sometimes I think just people believing in the product can be enough to kind of inspire you, to take it a little further. So I think that's what we did, and we're pretty stoked. So I think stoked for this EP and stoked for the future of songs. So.
Right. Now, can we talk a little bit more about Trigger, the single that's out right now? This is the first take. This is what I heard first of you guys, and then I started listening to the EP. But tell me a little bit more about the song Trigger, and you guys also have a video for it. Like, what inspired this track, and was this a track that just naturally flowed out of you, or was this a track that kind of challenged you in a way to kind of create it?
So I'd say a mixture of both. It's always a challenge, is that we're trying to outdo ourselves, and just for the sport of like what we do, it's more exciting when it's better each time. So it's definitely challenging that way, but also I think in this spirit of just kind of like being thrust into this new version of this band with some funding and with the label and with everything, it's just been super exciting. And Trigger is just kind of like throwing caution to the wind, sort of that excitement you have, like when you're a child, you don't even know how, you don't even know how to calm down. You're so excited. So I think that sort of like this song is sort of built around those feelings, and we've been kind of feeling that way, like kind of like kids, like let loose in sort of some weird amusement park. So I that's all I can say about that song, and it it's been a whole lot of fun. So
nice.
Yeah.
Now you guys got to re-release the EP, added a couple like new renditions of the songs. What kind of inspired these renditions? And I love that you guys also have like acoustic versions for a couple of the songs. Like, what kind of inspired that?
Oh, well, like adding acoustic versions of songs, it's like, it kind of offers like a different approach to a song, and it puts a different vibe on a song. And sometimes that's the one thing that's like somebody was like, oh, I really like the acoustic version of this song. Right. It brings that extra person in that's like, oh, I listen to the electronic stuff, and like that's not really my vibe, but I love what you did with the acoustic song. It's just another opportunity to like do something different with a song that we all love in a way that might catch somebody else's ear in a different way. Right. Yeah. And it's good to kind of just, I think it's always good to have acoustic songs kind of in your back pocket, just in case somebody's like, hey, you guys want to play a song? Like, sure, you got a guitar, let's make it happen.
A lot of these songs, like, were written on acoustic guitar, so I think it's just sort of like...
It's natural for you.
It's kind of fun, and like an homage to like how these songs kind of, like sort of like the campfire setting of, there's like this large production, like larger than life, like in your face production. A lot of people don't know, like Trigger was remixed to be like even more subdued than it is. Really? So it's kind of cool to see like these songs that are like just like in your face, like right here, just a little more like sort of summertime campfire-ish kind of vibe.
Now, do you guys incorporate like the acoustic stuff on your live shows too, or are you guys like saving the acoustics like for like special occasion type of shows?
It's kind of like the headliner spot when you bust out the,
I get that.
It's like when it's just the spotlight and like,
It's hard to break out a slow song sometimes, just on some of these gigs. You break out a slow song, and that's when everyone turns around and starts buying drinks. Right. So you want to keep the energy up, and you can like change up the dynamic, but don't go too slow, because everybody's gonna be like, oh wait, hold on a second, I can talk to you now. It's quiet enough.
Keep them dancing.
So we have David on drums, but you're also a drummer, right?
I am.
So how do you guys come together when you guys are like planning music or going over a live show or whatever? Do you guys clash a lot because you are a drummer and you are a drummer as well, or do you guys kind of help each other out?
No. He's amazing. He's perfect for this band. I'm so glad that he's in the band now. I've been keeping an eye on him for a while.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah. So I'm really happy he's in the group now, and we don't clash at all. I don't think so, anyway.
Not at all.
Unless you got something to tell me.
You got something to say?
Actually, now that you mention it, no.
So what's next for you guys? The EP, the re-release is out now. You guys have a couple shows right now. Can we expect some touring? Can we expect like more music? What are the plans for 2019?
We do have a lot of plans for the summer and in the fall, especially. And then everything just kind of shuts up like around the Christmas holidays and everything again. So before that comes, which will come like far too soon, we'll be out and about making some noise. And you never know, like. Content is moving so fast now. Like you never know when singles will drop here and there. So not even really have much visibility of that. But certainly excited to share with you guys some new music, and hopefully that happens sooner than later.
Yeah, right. Well, thanks again for hanging out with me. I look forward to seeing you guys for the very first time. You guys be sure to check out Paper Jackets. Get the new EP. It's out now. Don't lose your head. Thanks for watching here on Front Row Live.